Hi there, I'm Nancy Radford, a conflict coach and mediator. And a lot of people, when they hear what I do, think that what I do is actually stand between two people who are arguing and tell them to calm down and stop arguing. It's actually more than that. It's helping people manage their conflict in a positive way. And some people say, oh, well, we never argue. We have no conflict in our firm. And I'm kind of like, really? Oh, that's interesting. Actually, that's not very healthy, because sometimes why they have no conflict is because they have no differences of opinion. They have no new ideas coming in. So conflict is almost an essential part of life. It's inevitable. To grow and change, conflict comes up. Any change is resisted by people. If it isn't, you might make changes that really shouldn't be done. You need that conflict, that difference of opinion to check. So what is it that we should be searching for? We don't want, conflict hurts, pain hurts. Conflict's a bit like pain. It helps us recognize when things are wrong, when we need to check into things. Nobody likes pain, but if we didn't have pain, we'd be in a lot of bother. Really, you say? Well, think of leprosy. It's one of the most dreaded diseases throughout history. Lepers were shunned. People didn't want to touch them because they were so frightened of the disease. One of the symptoms of leprosy is that people don't feel pain, and that's what causes the loss of limbs and the disfigurement. Because think about it, if you picked up something very hot and you couldn't feel the pain of the burn, you would still keep holding it, but it would still be burning into your hand. Lepers couldn't feel rats chewing their toes, so they didn't kick them away. They didn't feel when they were walking that a stone had got in and made a cut. So they kept walking, and the stone would grow, the holes would grow in their feet, and eventually the feet would become infected. And because they didn't feel the pain, they ignored it. So if you don't have the pain of conflict encouraging you to do something, you might just put up with things that shouldn't be put up with. It's how tyrants and bullies get by, because people are frightened to challenge them. So why do we ignore pain and conflict? Sometimes we feel that they're negative things and we're positive people. So therefore, I'm a bad person if I have conflict, or I'm a bad person if I feel pain. Investigating the pain or the conflict might uncover something unpleasant. It's why so many people put off going to the doctor, because they're frightened. Yet often delaying causes things to get much worse. It may be lack of skills or knowledge. Knowing that a headache's caused by dehydration makes you less worried about the pain and take action more quickly. If we know what causes disagreement and how to manage conflict, we're much more likely to address it. So how can we manage conflict in a healthy way instead of exploding or getting angry or just trying to paper over the tracks? Well, I'll not go into pain because I'm a mediator, not a doctor, but I'll give you a few hints about conflict. First of all, you've got to admit there's a problem, even if it's only to yourself. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing with someone, with being angry, with having negative feelings. They're absolutely normal. Even saints feel anger and frustration. You may not be able to admit it to others, but it often helps if you can. But think first about what the problem is and what's causing the pain and the anger inside of you. It may be nothing to do with the person or the situation, but about how you're seeing it. And be careful that you don't talk about people instead of to people. It's best probably to talk to someone who's more objective than to talk about the problem to friends or families who will just tell you really what you want to hear. When you've worked out what the issue is, work out, is it worth raising? Will the pain of raising the problem be greater or less than the pain of doing nothing? Finally, take action. Either decide to address the conflict and bring it up. If you want some tips on that, get in touch with me or look on my website, nancyradford.com, and there's lots of blogs and tips on there. Or give me a call for a free confidential appointment. So take action or distract yourself. Forget about it and move on. Don't let the conflict fester. Look at it, see whether it's worth addressing. And if it isn't, don't think about it again. So thanks. Goodbye.